Good morning and welcome to Human Services 142, which is Introduction to Psychosocial Rehabilitation. I want to apologize to you a little bit. Right now I'm just getting to the end of a bout of pneumonia that just was my Christmas present, evidently. And so I'm moving a little slower than I normally do. But don't let that keep you from giving me a phone call or an email or whatever if you need any help with anything. I wanted to talk with you for just a couple of moments about how the class is done and a little bit about what you can expect. When you open up on Wednesday morning, the class, because it will open on Blackboard at 9 o'clock on Wednesdays on this class, and it will close at noon on Mondays, which means you have virtually from Wednesday morning until noon Wednesday or Monday to get your assignments and stuff turned in. It doesn't mean that you don't know what's coming, because every module will tell you, like it'll say Module 1 and give you the dates, which would be January the 15th to January the 20th. But it'll also tell you what the expectations are for the coming week after that. So you can't really work ahead a lot, but you do know what's coming, and I try to keep things pretty much the same so that you don't get confused by changes, big changes in how things are done. So as we talk about that, you can open up the module now, and you can look. It'll give you a little bit of information, but not a whole lot. You'll be able to see everything on Wednesday morning. And then, as I say, don't hesitate to try to get hold of me. But I would go in and I would read Start Here, and I do that before class begins, because it gives you all of the grading, it gives you all of the information that you need to know about the class. It's good to know whether there's makeups or not, because there aren't in this class. That doesn't mean I don't let you go back and do some stuff, but it's arranged with me individually. You have to talk to me about it. You can't just put stuff off and then think that you're going to make it up when it's convenient, because you can't do that. So you'll need to talk to me about making up your assignments. Anyway, this class is about what's happened in the mental health field. What is mental illness? What was mental illness? I think it's interesting to note too, the history of it, and you're going to get a little bit of that too. So every week you're going to have a video, and it's going to be a video that's factual, but I think you're going to find them interesting. So to save you from having to do a lot of reading for background, and you can do the reading if you want to on the topic, it doesn't really matter, but you can watch the video for a lot of it to get the information that we're discussing, and it helps follow the book. So as you look at what happened in mental health in years past, people would refer somebody for being ill to a therapist, to someone they could go and meet with, and who would help them establish weekly or monthly meetings where they talk about their problems and their issues, try to work them out. And they would do that in an office someplace, 4 walls, a nice chair to sit in, and you talk with your therapist. Or you would meet with a group of people who had similar problems to you, and you would sit and talk, and you would help each other take a look at how to work them out. And it's not that we still don't do that and that we still don't need that, but there are a lot of other components that go into what we're talking about. Medication is the second way that for many years we have seen a lot of reliance on medication for eliminating mental illness and mental stress. And medication is good when it's used correctly and it's not abused in the content and in the intent for what the problems are with whoever needs the help. In psychosocial rehabilitation, our whole goal is to work with the client, to work with the person who has some sort of problem or issue. And we let them tell us what they need, what they want, what's going to help their life. I kind of like Maslow in the fact that Maslow says that in the beginning stages of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which you all probably are familiar with, that when a person is not having their basic needs met and they're not feeling safe, it's very, very difficult for them to sort out the issues and the problems and the kinds of things that are really disturbing them. It's very difficult to be hungry and not have any clothing or shelter, and then have somebody say to you, well, how are you feeling today? And gee, what would make you feel a whole lot better about your outlook on life? And those kinds of issues. It's something that the person needs to say, I need a place to live. I need not to have my children sleeping in the back seat of a car. I need, to feel safe, that someone's not going to attack us or do whatever. And then when those needs are met, finally, we can help the person decide where they will be safe, where they want to live, and the kinds of things that will start to make their life more successful. And that's what makes you function better in society, and that's what we're looking for. You're going to see a video on John Nash, who was in the featured person in A Beautiful Mind. And he's a real person, and he's alive and well today and a Nobel laureate. He learned how to kind of heal himself from schizophrenia. And it's not that he isn't schizophrenic, it's just that he knows how to handle it. He knows what his needs are and how to use the help around him to be able to function well and have a successful life. So those are the kinds of things that we're going to start to look at. How did we get here? And, along the way, what's the path? Why is Sigmund Freud not the psychologist of choice any longer? Why are his ways outdated? It doesn't mean that he wasn't a very valuable contributor to the field of psychology, because a lot of what we use and what we say and we think are still, because of Sigmund Freud. But it just means that it's terribly expensive to do psychoanalysis. It's something that most people cannot afford to be part of. It takes forever to complete it, more than 2 years to go through psychoanalysis. And it's out of date, actually, because you spent your time going back into your childhood, when time you were a baby and all of that, and bringing yourself all the way back up to the future. And meanwhile, the food's not on the table, and you're frustrated and you're angry and you're having trouble raising your kids, and your family has got issues and problems, and maybe you're homeless because you lost your job or whatever's going on. And laying on a couch talking to an analyst is not necessarily what the average person needs. So that's what we're going to be doing, and that's where we're going to be starting. And I welcome your questions, and I welcome your input. And the first place you're going to get that is every week there's going to be a discussion question. And these are really important. You click on discussion, and it'll give you the question, and then you're going to respond with what you think about the question, and then you're going to respond to somebody else on how they feel about the answer to the question. And I really like reading the discussions. It tells me what you think, what you know, what maybe you don't know, maybe what you'd like to know. And some of the discussions get really long and interesting, and I think you'll enjoy meeting your peers. You have to have a minimum of 2 responses on a discussion question. And on those responses, sometimes people decide they want more than 2 because they have a lot to say and they get hooked into what other people have to say back to them. Anyway, we'll see how that goes for you. And that is important for me to know, that you're participating in class. Because if you stop participating in the discussions, you may get dropped. And I'll be dropping people right in the very beginning for non-participation. The second is critical thinking questions. We have a movie every week that you get to watch. You have some reading assigned to you, plus your discussions, and anything else that you want to look up. And so you'll have a question. And it's not just, well, I think that. You must research that question. You must use references to the videos and to the reading that you do to get credit for your work. So that's the number 2 thing that you'll have every week. And then there is a class question, which goes with your chapter in your book that you're going to read. So pretty much that's it. There is a term paper in this class, and it will be due, I think it's in March, and you'll see that in the description of things and start here. So with that, I just want to welcome you to the class. I think we'll have a good time. I really enjoyed last semester's class. I hated it when it ended because the group that finished that class had just really got into things, and it was, I think, where we all learned a whole lot from each other. So we'll have some opportunities for you to expand your thinking, and if you have questions, I'm always available, and I like talking to you, and you may find that I'll just pick up the phone and call you, and if I don't like an answer that you gave on a question, I'll call you up and have you give me a better one so that you can get a better grade. So just be prepared. And anyway, welcome to spring, and I promise I will stop getting sick, and I will get my hair grown back, and I'll quit having things like pneumonia and all that kind of good stuff that we all can do without, to tell you the truth. Anyway, see you all soon. Bye.